I think everyone should attend Content Marketing World.
Content Marketing World is the gold standard of content conferences.
It's the best 3 days in the world.
I've been to a lot of different content strategy, content marketing events, but it feels like this is the real one.
This is the top of the top. This is where the folks that are experts and the experts in content marketing come.
The vibe at Content Marketing World is definitely unique because everybody comes here eager to learn.
Fun content that's educational. A lot of good, frameworks, tips and tricks coming out of it.
Content Marketing World does a really good job of staying relevant with the industry trends.
What I love about it too is it goes across industries, so you're able to learn so much and it's not just focused on one thing.
It's a lot of fun just to hear the magic that's happening at other organizations.
And what's great about it is there's always practical tips and gems that you can take back and apply it to the work you're doing.
One of the reasons why I come to Content Marketing World, to network.
To be able to talk to people who might have been feeling or doing or experiencing the same things that we're going through is incredibly helpful.
There's something really powerful about a room full of people all sort of talking and being like, yeah, that's something that we're dealing with. How are you doing? What are your approaches? And it just forces you to think about it in a way that's much more meaningful.
The community is phenomenal. It's almost like a family reunion.
I love the fact that I feel welcome the moment I walk in. People are smiling at each other.
It's not often you find a place that you're with so many strangers, but they all feel like friends.
People are connecting, people are collaborating, people are looking for ways to expand beyond this event.
This is where the true community for this space lives.
If it's one event that you go to throughout the year, I think it should be this one. I'm going to come back next year and bring my team.
If you work in content marketing, or if you want to work in content marketing, this is the place to be.
Join us for Content Marketing World 2025, September 15th through the 17th in San Diego.
Hello everyone. It's Amanda with the Content Marketing Institute. I'm so happy you're joining us this afternoon for our latest episode of Live with CMI. I'm excited as always to be joined by my colleague JK, and JK and I are melting here in the Midwest. I think that a lot of people are melting as well in other parts of the US. So how are you holding up, JK?
I'm okay. The one thing that I tried to broadcast today from the deep freeze, but I couldn't get a Wi-Fi signal. So I'm just a little sweltering here in the shores of Lake Erie, but very excited to be here today for a very cool topic and a cool person that we're going to be chatting with. So
yes, and just a heads up. So JK and I both lost power yesterday, so we are holding out hope that we will make it through this entire episode with power with all of you. So we will hope for that here. So it's hard to believe, but the countdown is actually on for Content Marketing World 2025. It's less than 3 months away, September 15th through the 17th in San Diego. And to gear up for the conference, we will be featuring some of our super awesome CM World speakers right here on the live stream over the next couple of months. And today we will be chatting about how to survive, thrive, and climb the ladder in your content marketing career. Right, JK?
That's right. We're chatting today with Bria, a former TV news journalist that turned into a content marketer. And we're going to chat about how to roadmap success, roadmap success in content and marketing. This is going to be a good one.
It is. And before we get to all that, we want you to know, as always, that this live stream is brought to you by, in case you didn't know, the Content Marketing Institute. We are the leading training and education organization for all things content and marketing. So if you head over to contentmarketinginstitute.com, We have all kinds of great resources over there, research, videos, articles, everything over there for you to help you in your content marketing career. So as you join us, as always, give us a virtual wave, say hello, let us know where you're joining us from. We really want to hear from all of you. It makes for a more engaging live stream. So feel free to drop in questions or comments as we go along here today. If you have a question for our guest, drop it down there and we will try to get to it as best as we can. So before we go to all of that, if you've joined us here before, you know we started this little segment at the beginning of the year called Make Us Smile. So something that made us smile for the week. So JK, I'm going to leave this one up to you. Take it away.
Oh, well, thank you so much. Well, tomorrow we are celebrating my lovely better half, Kristen's milestone birthday. I'll leave the number off. but my daughters and I surprised her with a trip to Dollywood in near Pigeon Forge, Tennessee. My wife is a huge Dolly Parton fan. So I thought that I would just come on because everything Dolly makes me smile. So I was really impressed by the amount of philanthropy that Dolly Parton does and how much it is tied to her Dollywood Foundation. And so, like, case in point, many of you probably already know that she created what's known as the Imagination Library, which anyone can sign up for. Children up to, I believe, kindergarten can receive a free book per month, I believe, through the foundation to promote reading. She has, through her Dollywood Foundation in Sevier County, Tennessee, where she's from, when she grew up, she noticed that there was a massive amount of high school dropouts and low graduation rates. So she created what's known as the Buddy Program, which any 7th or 8th grader that signs a certificate when they start the grade at middle school, they're guaranteed $500 when they graduate and get a high school diploma. Just a check from Dolly Parton. She has gone as far as donating to Vanderbilt University $1 million that led to research for the Moderna COVID vaccine. So her philanthropy is just blowing me away. And something that I'm very interested in seeing when we're at Dollywood is she created the Eagle Mountain Sanctuary, which is they save injured bald eagles, ones that cannot be released back into the wild. So it's all in Dollywood. You can just see eagles everywhere. But what's really cool is on top of everything else, she's given millions of dollars to different charities throughout the world. And what made me think of her the most this week was Motley Crue, the band I'm sure that we all know from the 80s, 90s, whatever. They had a very popular song called Home Sweet Home, which was big for them in 1984. So Dolly partnered with them, re-recorded portions of the song, released it as a video, and it's going to be available through Motley Crue's, upcoming 40th anniversary box set or whatever. And the proceeds from that are benefiting the Covenant House, which provides meals and homes or shelter for homeless teens throughout the country. So it is just unbelievable the amount of work she does to make people's lives better, but then also entertain us at the same time. So I'm just unbelievably proud and excited to visit Dollywood with my family and just be a little bit part of her world for a little bit. So
yeah,
that's what made me smile.
I didn't even know half of that stuff. Like I knew a lot of it, but I didn't even know. Like she's pretty impressive.
Yeah, and last thing, and then because I'll talk the whole show about Dolly Parton. But
your wife has you hooked now.
The coolest thing, we live in the home of rock and roll. The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame's just down the road, and Dolly was inducted last year in last year's class, but she tried to rescind her induction because she goes, "I don't belong here because I'm not a rock star," and they're like, "No, we're not going to accept your denial of coming in." So he goes, "Well, guess what? That I guess I'm just going to have to record a rock album." So she ended up recording a rock album called Rockstar, and she partnered with many generational from classic rock to new rock, doing duets and her own music. So it's just fantastic.
Well, we expect to see pictures next time when you.
I'm
get a meet Dolly. Maybe she'll be walking around and you can just.
You know, that's the
Kristen
thing.
would go crazy.
She does rando, like if she's in town, she does rando parades right down through the street of Dollywood. So I'm like, fingers crossed that it's going to happen. So.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
Yes, Dolly is one of a kind for sure. As you're joining us today, make sure you drop a note for us in there. Let us know where you're joining us from. We see Joey is here from Tulsa.
Hey, Tulsa.
Hi, Joey. Thanks for joining us. Kim, Amy, and Stephanie are on. So as we have questions, if we go along, please feel free to drop them into the chat. All right, moving on here. Are you looking to level up your career in content marketing? Maybe you want to land a promotion, secure a new job, or make lasting impressions in your current role. If all of this sounds good, then you are in the right place, right, JK?
Oh, that's right. Today, we are excited to welcome Bria Bell, Vice President, Speaker Bureau Lead at JP Morgan, who will be speaking for her second time at Content Marketing World in September. Welcome, Bria.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Oh, thank you for being here.
Yes. Well, let's get started here. What are the key skills someone should focus on to start building a career in content marketing, especially the people who might just be entering the field?
I think this is something that we can all take heed to, whether you're entry level or more senior. I think we'll start with a big one, right? AI. Everyone, it's you can't get on LinkedIn or any forum where people are not talking about AI and how it's disrupting, most times in the best way, business. And so I'll start with AI literacy. There is a lot of rhetoric on if AI is going to take your job, and a healthy discourse to rebut that is AI won't replace your job, but someone who knows how to use AI will replace your job. And so it's getting familiar with the new tools and innovative ways to create content and knowing what's real and what's not. I know there are different brands who create content because it's maybe easier to produce using AI, and that may work well for that organization, but just knowing the type of content you're ingesting will keep you ahead of the curve. Secondly, I would like to say mixing creativity with analytics, and that just reassures that you are in alignment with business objectives. It's one thing to be a great writer or great storyteller, but you also want to make sure that your content is delivering on business objectives, because when the business wins, you win. And then thirdly, I would say psychology. And I'm not saying you have to go to school and get a degree in psychology, but learn the ropes on, why one color makes you feel an emotion versus the other. Why is nostalgia a big thing for 90s kids and we're in this era of reboots? Why is it why does certain words or certain stories stick and resonate with us than others, and just understanding why people move in the way that they do.
Yeah, those are great points. And somebody that can encapsulate all those things can truly become a great marketer. Especially I love the idea of the analytics and creativity, because that's a lot of the stuff that I dip into with my marketing team, and what's working, what's not, all the testing that we do. So it's very hard sometimes for me to understand the analytics side. So they have to work with me a lot on that. And sometimes from a visual standpoint, I have to work with my team a lot, saying, okay, this was my vision. So coming to that, wonderful point in between is huge for us. So, but I did have a question about large marketing teams. Sometimes, especially in a large team, it can be really hard to stand out. So what are the clearest ways to show your value in a marketing role to set yourself up for like a raise or a promotion, or kind of climb the corporate ladder?
Absolutely. My take on it is visibility. You have to showcase why you exist and why you were hired for the role. People can't miss you if they don't know you exist, and people don't know the relevancy of your contributions if they don't know how your work is intertwined to the business objectives. And so there's many ways to cover that base. It's one, coffee chats. Maybe you schedule 15, 30 minutes with your leaders in the business and just building that relationship and understanding their goals and tie them into your goals. On and then in the scope of like in the marketing side, on the business side, just understanding why everyone has a certain role in the ecosystem and getting your name out there. Um, Understanding your superpower is also how you elevate your visibility. If you are good with data and numbers, that needs to be reflected in your day-to-day work. So you can shine in the best way that makes sense for who you are. If writing and storytelling is your skill set, the team needs to know that you need to be the go-to when they're fleshing out content and it's fourth quarter and they need to get something across the finish line. Same thing with video creation, social media, whatever your strongest suit is. If you change careers and you have a different lens than what maybe a traditional marketer has, that needs to be shared. And so having the team understand what makes you unique and beneficial to the team is how you increase your visibility.
I like the idea of the coffee chats, because I imagine like, especially if you're more of an introvert, because that makes it's a little harder sometimes to get your name out there, especially in a big organization. But something like that, a one-on-one time would probably be a little bit easier to sort of talk and chat and make your supervisor or managers understand exactly what you're doing.
And believe it or not, I'm an introvert despite my extroverted career choices. So I am definitely the one that's strategic with happy hours. I'm not showing up at happy hour just because it's on the calendar. If there are senior leaders and people who are, top tier in the organizations, yes, I'm going to be strategic in showing up and making sure my face and presence is known. But it's not always like, what can you do for me? It's just candidly saying like, hey, how was your flight? And I'm located in Dallas. So how is Dallas treating you compared to, where you are? What's the biggest itch that you have right now that, you want to see the teams thrive? And then from there, you can kind of start connecting the dots on the gaps that the business is trying to fill and how you can play a role in filling in those gaps. And so it doesn't have to be as blatant as like, hi, my name is Bria, please see me. You can be strategic in your approach.
Well, what's one thing if you are a junior marketer? So they should be doing maybe from day one to prepare for faster growth into mid-level roles besides the networking part of it?
Tracking your projects and your performance. I have a spreadsheet and I update it very fluidly. And it starts with like, it's labeled by Q1, Q2, Q3. So I have it for the year. And then the next segment is projects and deliverables I'm working on. And so I'll label it. So when it comes to the end of the year and I'm doing my end of the year reviews, I have a clean track record of my time will spend, on my 9 to 5. Secondly, I'll have maybe feedback and kudos from team members and the ways that I help the team get to the finish line on things that are very known to the business and what's expected of me. And then things that I maybe took on a side task because people call on me to support on different realms, but just adding to where I am best utilized in all my resources. And then thirdly, how it applies to the business objective. And so when it comes to the end of the year, I can accurately define my impact, because effort is one thing, right? Showing up on time, that's effort. Logging a full 8 hours, that's effort. But I think what best serves people who are leveling up is not just the effort, but the impact.
That is actually super smart and something that's really smart for a junior marketer that I wish I had thought about when I was younger, because it's so hard, especially if you're looking for maybe a new job, to remember all that stuff, but to like write it down and track it in that spreadsheet, that is super smart. That is a great tip.
Thanks. And it creates that social proof, right? Because I can say I'm great, but then I have documentation of someone else in the business who has said, it was great. And we can talk about maybe it's the CMO or maybe it's a product marketer partner, and the different titles. So I literally labeled name, title, and role just to have that extra like social proof of like validation that I am doing what I'm saying I'm doing.
Yeah, that's fantastic. That's the thing that stood out to me was the, where you're putting in the feedback specifically from which person, it just adds an extra layer of validation to what you're doing.
Mhm. Absolutely. And then, secondly, I would also say take risks. There's different rhetoric online and different studies of as you get older, the less inclined you are to take risk and forge different paths. And if you're early on your career, if you want to consider innovation in tech and how industries, not only explicit to marketing, how industries are having to be nimble and shapeshift and just remaining or keeping that competitive edge, taking risk and taking roles that still align with your goals long term and in your foundational skill set, but being open to new opportunities to continue leveling up your skill set and expertise.
All great thoughts. Well, how about this one? LinkedIn can be huge in helping advance someone's career. So especially when it comes to building a personal brand, what kind of content should maybe a junior marketer or content creator be posting to get noticed by recruiters, hiring managers? And is that maybe different than saying content for like if you're just building a personal brand?
I would say yes and no. And shameless plug for the Content Marketing Institute, but content marketing world, for example, when you show up and you sit in the sessions and you network, it takes almost nothing to capture, your selfies, your time at different booths, your time with your colleagues and your friends, right? Because we're all friends in the industry, and showcasing that on LinkedIn of one, the fabulous fun that you're having, what you're learning, and what you plan to take back and utilize in the next year. I think it's also highlighting the different trends in your analysis on what that means to you as a professional. And then on the brand side of things, that is showcasing your value and your ethos and your moral principles as a professional. And for an example, I'm a big fan of Quinta Brunson, who is the creator of Abbott Elementary, if you've ever seen the show. And she was on a podcast with Amy Poehler, and there was a bit where she shared how she's not one to say, oh, I just got here by happens chance. I don't know why this is happening to me. And she, confidently shared, like, no, this is exactly what's supposed to be happening to me because I put in the time and the effort and blood, sweat, and tears to be where I am. And I shared that on my LinkedIn with the comment of do everything with intention. And when I walked into the office few days later, some of my colleagues responded and said, oh, that I love that. That's, that's how I think, that's how I approach work. And so it's a combination of two of, studying the trends in the industry and how you make it applicable to what you do on the day to day, what you're learning and your insights, and then who you are as a person.
I love that line, by the way. And I listened to that podcast and it was fantastic. So you spoke a little bit earlier about, the value of networking, especially with industry events like, content marketing world, and, how important it is to connect with people, kind of post about it and talk about it. Besides industry events like content marketing world, like how else would you, pursue growing your network?
There's different ways to skin a cat. And as someone who transitioned from journalism to marketing, I definitely entered various circles just trying to find my footing. And so outside of industry specific events, it's one, networking within the world around you. And so, that can be at work if there is a safe space and healthy relationships to do so, because there's something to learn from everyone. Being at JP Morgan, I have been blessed to be working with such creative minds who have such unique experience as well. I have colleagues who have come from the advertising world. I have colleagues who were originally bankers and then switched to marketing. And so there is something to learn from everyone. And in studying people's journeys is how you build your rapport and your network. I think in the online realm, entering different niche circles. So for me, it's TV to PR, meaning TV news to public relations. But even though that's the name of the community, it is really PR, communications, marketing, all under one umbrella. And having that discourse of, okay, I am switching careers. So how do I market myself? How am I seen? Is anyone else going through this? I feel like I'm on an island here. And that's that reassurance that, even though maybe your journey is not your own, but there is something maybe you can give back and help support one another. And then I think creating content that helps create discourse. As I mentioned, I posted that bit on LinkedIn, and that started conversations of, that's exactly how I feel in my role, and this is what I'm looking to do next. And I was like, oh, I didn't even know that existed. What made you think about that, or what made you pursue that opportunity? So I think creating content can birth the conversations that you're looking for as well.
Yeah, and I think that not just industry events, like you said, or marketing specific, like maybe you're in, I don't know, a pickleball league or something, you know what I mean? Like making whatever it is, like making those connections, because you just never know who will someday come back and be like, I remember that person was in marketing and I'm looking for, like, you just never know. So any sort of, whether professional group you're in or fun group that you're in, social group, like any of those connections, like you just never know. That's what I've discovered.
I was going to say the nail salon.
Yeah.
It's interesting on what I read in my HOA app. It's not just about home ownership. We're talking about babysitting and job opportunities and just different things to help people live their lives, right? So yeah, to your point, it's don't just stick to the conferences, but let the world be your oyster. There's always ways to connect with people, and it's just starting with having a conversation.
That's a great way. That's a great way to end that. So, well, Bria has so much more in her session at Content Marketing, or her workshop, Leveling Up Your Roadmap to Success in Content Marketing. It will be Monday, September 15th. And she will have so much more. And I think it's an hour and a half long session. I can't remember.
Yeah, it's 90 minutes.
Yeah, so she will have so much more in that session. So you can head over to contentmarketingworld.com and we'll drop the link to her session in there so you can read the description and see if it's right for you. And hurry, because our early bird rates end this Friday, June 27th. This is your last chance to secure the best rates. So head over there, check out the agenda. Our keynote is podcasting pioneer Guy Raz. We have some folks from The Onion, which should be pretty fun as well. So lots of fun stuff planned. So we hope that you will come and see the three of us at Content Marketing World. In the meantime, Bria, how can people connect with you?
Yes, I am on LinkedIn. My first name is Bria, last name Bell, 4 letters for the first and last name, very simple. But yes, please connect on LinkedIn. Send me a message. I love connecting and having conversations about how to live the life that we all imagine. Because that's at the end of the day, that's what we're all hoping to do, right?
Absolutely.
Awesome. All right, Bria. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. We will see you in 3 months in San Diego in September. Until then, enjoy the rest of your hot summer.
Bye.
See you later. Take care, Bria. That was awesome.
Awesome. Sorry, I have something in my throat. All right. So we do have, before we go today, one important thing. And JK, I'm just going to let you go ahead.
Sure. All right, so before we go, we want to talk a little bit about the Content Marketing Institute certification program. If you want to start the year strong, this is your moment to reset and refocus on your growth as a marketer. With 15 hours of training, CMI's Content Marketing certification program covers content and marketing strategy, develop of audience and buyer personas, content development process, and more, all tied to the skills you'll need to pass the professional certified marketer exam from the American Marketing Association. And if you enroll this month and claim your 20% savings, just use the code 20%, or I'm sorry, midyear 20, midyear 20, capital MIDYEAR 20, to get that 20% off, and you will not regret it. This is a fantastic deal. And, you know, build that momentum right before Content Marketing World. Let's do this.
It's led by Robert Rose, the one and only Robert Rose. So you can't
the one and only.
Can't go wrong with that. So sorry, I got something in my throat for some reason. Well, thank you so much, all of you, for joining us today. As we said, hurry up and get those tickets to Content Marketing World. It's the last week to secure the rates. And if you do head there, make sure you connect with JK and I. We'd love to meet you in real life. And
yeah,
so if you've seen the live stream, we'd love to meet up with any of you. Until the meantime, we'll be back next month with another awesome speaker from Content Marketing World. So in the meantime, everyone, enjoy the next month. Stay cool.
That's right.
A little hot. So,
yeah, I think I'm gonna go pop back into the deep freeze now that I don't need my Wi-Fi. So
like I need a fan. I'm like sweating here. I'm like I need a fan to stop me blowing my hair for our live stream. So, all right, everyone, have a good rest of your week.
All right, take care, everybody. Thanks for joining.